Hello, Professor Dr. Ji Hyun. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to this presentation. And I would like to thank Professor Dr. Rohizani for this opportunity for me to present a very humble project that I did alone. Actually, this is just a trial because before I actually establish a team, I would like to try it on myself first. Okay, so hold on, let me share the screen. Doctor?
Okay. We can hear you.
All right. I'm going to present an individual project that I did this year. Actually, I plan to do a lot of things this year, but however, the pandemic strike. But the project that I've started this year has helped me a lot with my remote teaching during this pandemic. So I'm currently teaching in a high school, and my students are in grade 10 and grade 11, Form 4 and Form 5, 16 to 17 years old. Those who are sitting for national examination next year. So, how this project started is it is all after I took the ICT in TESOL course last year. Okay, then a lot of ideas came in my mind. So this is the outline of my presentation today before pandemic and during the second wave of COVID-19 in Malaysia and now the third wave. Okay, so before the pandemic, I have started a project called Flip and Blended Classroom, which I started in February, in which this project basically integrating the use of technology in classroom and at home. So during our lesson in school, the students are required to bring their mobile phone to school, and in every lessons there are three phases. There are three phases of every lessons. The first is called pre-lesson that happens at home, the lesson that happens in school, and the post-lesson that happens at home. Okay, so the first phase, which is the pre-lesson, is self-directed learning, in which I introduce the topic and also the vocabulary, and I assign them with tasks and groups according to differentiation. And then the second one is at school, I incorporated blended learning and also cooperative learning. They are working, I still teach like other teachers, but there are gadgets that's going to assist the students. And the third one is the third phase is project-based learning. I did project with the students, and this is where the assessment came in. Okay, the assessment happens in phase 2 and phase 3. All right. The platform that I use in my project are Telegram, WhatsApp, Padlet, PowerPoint, Keynote, everything that I can use, that I know, that I explored, I use them in my classroom. So in the pre-lesson, they are assigned with task. And then in the lesson, they are going to carry out the task, present, and we have virtual gallery walk. Usually, my school has in every classes in my school we have gallery. So however, I did a virtual gallery walk so that the students feel like oh yeah, there's a function that I bring my phone to school. And we have a section called Talk of Fame, in which the students are going to share ideas, they share their feedbacks, and there are peer assessment that happens in classroom. And post lesson is mainly project based, using YouTube and Instagram. For your information, I'm very active on social media, so I think I'm going to use social media to actually help me with my teaching. So this is what happened. Introduction happens in messaging application, Telegram, and also WhatsApp. And then we have a face-to-face instruction. My students are seated like this. After the first MCO, when they came back to school, they are seated like this. Before this, every students are seated in 4 in a group. And also I did one instruction in which I record myself teaching, but the videos are all shorts, all right? Next, we have the second wave, the second wave, in which we have the first movement control order somewhere in March. All right. So because of the project that I did with my students, the blended classroom project, I had no problem of establishing 100% online teaching and learning with my students. All right. So because I have already established everything with the students, and the only concern was to do assessment, PBD. For I believe that all Malaysian teachers are um, familiar with PBD, classroom-based assessment. So I was thinking, how can I assess my students continuously even though they are at home? So I did via projects. However, when the things started to become better, then we have a program. This is a school program called Module Drive-Through. These are all the parents coming to pick up the modules, and this is my principal. Okay, I believe that this is done everywhere in Malaysia. I believe that other schools are doing the same thing. Okay, now this is a project that I did with my students. My students are also very active on Instagram, very active on TikToks. Twitter. So I think maybe I should do something to actually do something more of educational with this social media. So I did Instagram review with my students in which they posted a video of them reviewing product and also food. Next, we have a project-based learning on writing project. They have to come up with a newsletter using Canva. I'm teaching 16-year-old students. I thought that they know a lot about all this application. However, I was wrong because most of them did not know what is Canva. So I had to come up with a tutorial on how to use this, and exposing them to new things help them to actually do more in their life. And so now coming to the new MCO now, I was thinking I should go further. I should try something new. Using more social media, more application that could help me with my teaching. So I came up with a new tech called short videos, and I like short videos because it involves visual and auditory. And I was inspired by TikTokers. Actually, I installed TikTok last September to actually see what is there in TikTok, to explore what is there in TikTok. So I was a little bit skeptical about TikTok because I thought that TikTok is mainly on entertainment, but I was wrong. Actually, I could see, I found many educators has been using TikTok to actually do teaching in that platform. So I was inspired by a few TikTokers, Lingua Marina, and then Shifa. She's a Malaysian teacher, and also in Instagram, I was so attracted to someone called English with NAP. So I think that this approach is very good for my students. Okay, why do I choose short videos? First is I consider that teenagers has very short focus span. All right, they cannot be focusing a lot in a very longer video. And I found a study by Guo stated that the shorter the video, the length of the video, the percentage of students watching the video is going to be higher. So I like social media, presenting videos on social media, because we are going to talk more or less like we are conversing with our students. It's more on conversational style rather than the formal style. So um, it's not boring for my students, and other teachers are able to reuse it, and I also can reuse it for other students, for other audience, and my students are able to rewatch the video. That's the reason why I choose TikTok and IG, and I also post it on Facebook and Instagram. So the next one is short videos is going to highlight important information, because teachers are going to chunk large topic into small. So if you are about to explain the concept of tenses in a video, it might take you days to actually explain that. So when you chunk it into smaller parts or smaller in the word level, it is going to be more meaningful for the students. Next, this is an example of what I did with TikTok and also incorporating TikTok and also Facebook in my lesson. So this is remote learning, 100% online. I asked the students to read the textbook. It's about American English and British English. So I done a TikTok video on this topic, and I asked the students to watch my TikTok video, and I did assessment with word wall. All right. So this is basically what happens. I believe that in every remote learning platform, teachers are doing this, giving instruction on Telegram and then assessing students. Why did I choose word wall? Is because my students are all gamers. They like to play games, and I believe that if I keep on using Google Form, they might be boring. So I try to use Wordwall to explore more games that my students could play. All right. Next one is a writing activity that I did with my students. I purposely choose a Korean movie. This is not because of I'm presenting to Professor Ji Hyun, but yes, I do choose foreign movie because I want the students to read the subtitles. So what happened for the pre-lesson, I asked them, I gave them the link of the movie, but there are certain students who have problems of watching the movie because of their data limitation. So I said it's okay if you cannot watch this movie, you can watch other movies that you have watched. And then I created a very short YouTube video, 1 minute and 30 seconds, to explain how can they write the review, what are needed in the review, and so that I don't so that the students can actually come up with a more structured movie review. And then the students posted their writing on Padlet. This is also what I learned from Professor Dr. Jaffrey in also my ICT in TESOL class. So I used Padlet, and my students love Padlet so much, and I love Padlet too because we can actually generate the whole thing that the students did and into PDF, and I have the ability to check and give this feedback for my students and what the errors that they did. All right. So this is what the feedback shared with my students on Telegram. Okay. Some students are they are not able to actually participated in the online session, so they are free to actually do anytime they want and in any platform that they prefer. So here, as you can see, my students type the movie review because of the flip and blended classroom project. My students are familiar of using Google Doc, Microsoft Word, how to use Microsoft Word in a mobile phone. Actually, at first, when I first started the program, they do not know how to convert a document to PDF. So actually, this program has helped them to actually prepare themselves for the world, I think. Okay. So, however, I also believe that we have this problem too, because some of our students have no access to technology. So I have to come up with a few steps or a few initiatives to help my students. First of all, I have personal WhatsApp class for those students who have the same problem like Azrina's have. She's having problem where the students are using the parents' mobile phone. So actually, these students, I actually go and hunt the students with no gadgets and no access to internet, and I personally, coach and teach them. Actually, it happens 24 hours. At 11 o'clock, that's the active hours of my students. So, sometimes I had to actually stay up for my students to coach them in this WhatsApp class. And then this is the same old idea, which is giving the modules to the students. And then this is a self-initiative to actually reach out to the students who are unable to learn online. It is called Class McDonald's. Okay. So this is what happens in WhatsApp class. I teach them online, and then they give me their work, and I give them feedback. And this is the Class McDonald, particularly focusing on in helping the students to pass, because I'm teaching back classes with very low proficiency students. So I cannot reach them online. So I will be waiting for these people to come and see me twice a week, 1 hour per session. And then I'm going to coach each and every student who's involved in this class McDonald's. So this is how Actually, I as a teacher tried my very best to help my students online, and those who are unable to actually participate in online, this is how I what I did as a teacher. So I believe that's all from me. Thank you so much. Back to you, Doctor.